Welcome to our channel, USA Coin Spot. In this video I am going to tell you about the Roosevelt dime, United States of America, which are very valuable and rare. If you have them, you can take advantage of them. Top 1. Have you ever looked at a dime and thought, this tiny coin could be worth more than your monthly paycheck? Or maybe even more than your car? Most people wouldn't even notice a 1984 Roosevelt dime sitting in a coin jar. They'd toss it into a vending machine, or hand it off without a second thought. But right now, right here, there's one specific version of that dime, not from loose change, but from a proof set, that could be hiding in your home, worth thousands of dollars. Not hundreds, thousands. Let's set the scene. The year is 1984. The US Mint is producing special collector sets, known as proof sets, with coins that are struck using specially polished dies, made to look absolutely flawless. These coins aren't meant for everyday pockets. They were made for collectors, for long-term value, and for the people who understood that coins are more than currency, their history in metal form. And inside that 1984 proof set there's a dime. A Roosevelt dime. And this specific coin, under the right conditions, could be worth more than you ever imagined. Now, not every proof coin is valuable. Most are beautiful, but common. But once in a while, something extraordinary happens. One of those coins comes out of the mint in absolute perfection. No scratches. No cloudiness. No flaws. The frosting on the raised design looks like it's floating above a mirror. It's called Ultra Cameo. And when the coin gets professionally graded, and it hits that perfect score of PR 70, collectors go wild. That's exactly what happened with one 1984 Roosevelt dime from a proof set. When it went to auction, it didn't just attract attention, it broke expectations. It sold for $2,700. That's a lot for a 10-cent coin, right? But that's not even the most shocking part. Another example of this same coin, again, flawless, graded a perfect PR 70, sold for an unbelievable $39,000. Imagine that. A single dime, worth more than $39,000. It's the kind of thing people dream about. The kind of thing that keeps collectors up at night, hunting proof sets, searching through estate sales, flipping through old coin albums. And what makes this even crazier is that some of these proof sets were sold for just a few dollars back in the 80s. They were gifted to kids, locked away in drawers, or forgotten in closets. Right now, someone might be sitting on one of those 1984 proof dimes, completely unaware that it's worth more than an entire year's rent. So how do you know if you've got the right one? First, look for the S Mint mark. That means it was struck at the San Francisco Mint, the only place that produced proof coins that year. Next, look closely at the surface. Is the background glassy and reflective, like a mirror? Is the design frosted and crisp, standing out like it's been carved from ice? That's the Ultra Cameo effect. And that's a big deal. But here's the secret: condition is everything. Only the absolute best examples bring top dollar. That's why professional grading is so important. If you think you have one, don't clean it. Don't touch it with your bare fingers. Keep it safe and send it to a trusted grading company like PCGS or NGC. If it comes back as a PR 70 Ultra Cameo, you're in business. There are only a handful of these coins in the world in such perfect condition. That's why collectors are willing to pay prices that most people wouldn't believe. It's not just a coin, it's rarity, beauty, and history all in one tiny piece of metal. So before you toss that proof set aside, before you trade away your collection or overlook that small coin from 1984, stop. Look again. Because that little dime might not be worth 10 cents. It might not even be worth $10. It could be worth $2,700. Or, if you're really lucky, it could be worth $39,000. That's right. $39,000. From a coin most people ignore. Now take a second and really think about this. How many old proof sets have been forgotten in storage units, passed down from relatives, left in boxes at garage sales? How many dimes have already been thrown away or spent, never knowing the true value they once held? But it's not too late for you. If you've got a 1984 proof set sitting around, now is the time to check. Look closely. Handle it carefully. Get it graded. Because you never know. You might just be holding the tiniest treasure of your life. 1 dime. 1 year. One unbelievable value. $2,700 to $39,000. It's real. It's happened. And it could happen to you. So go look. Now, and when you find it, remember this moment. Because you'll never look at a dime the same way again. Top 2. Have you ever looked at a dime, that small, silver, almost invisible coin, and thought it could be worth more than your entire bank account? Most people wouldn't even glance at a 1987 Roosevelt dime twice. It's tiny. It's common. It's barely enough to buy a stick of gum. But what if I told you one version of that dime, from a 1987 proof set, is quietly making people rich? What if that same coin could be sitting inside your home right now, worth more than your car, or maybe even more than your entire savings? Yes, you heard that right. We're talking about a real, physical coin. Not a digital asset. Not a lottery ticket. A simple, government-issued dime from the year 1987. But not just any dime. The one that came from the U.S. Mint's proof set. Now let's be clear. Most 1987 dimes are worth exactly what they say, 10 cents. You probably spent one today without thinking twice. But proof coins? That's a whole different story. These were never meant to be spent. They were struck with extreme precision, using highly polished dies and carefully selected blanks, producing that signature mirror finish and razor-sharp detail. They were made for collectors, people who knew these coins weren't just currency, they were art. And among those 1987 proof Roosevelt dimes, there are a few that stand out like hidden treasure. When the right conditions come together, flawless surfaces, ultra-deep mirror shine, and that frosted design contrast, something magical happens. The coin gets professionally graded. And if it hits that perfect score, the one collectors dream about, PR 70 Deep Cameo, the price doesn't just go up. It explodes. Imagine holding a dime that was part of a set sold for just a few bucks back in the 80s. And now, in 2025, that exact coin is changing hands for serious money. This isn't speculation. It's not a rumor. It's happening. Right now, just recently, a 1987 Roosevelt dime, pulled from a proof set, perfectly preserved, and graded PR 70 Deep Cameo, was sold for $2,700. That alone is enough to make you look through your coin collection a little more carefully. But here's the part that will make your heart race. Another version of this same dime, identical in year, in mint, and style, but in absolutely flawless condition, sold for an unbelievable $76,000. $76,000 for a dime. 10 cents, turned into the kind of money most people work months, even years, to earn. No scratch-offs, no gambling, no guessing. Just one overlooked proof coin sitting quietly in a velvet-lined holder, waiting for the right eyes to notice it. Think about that. Think about how many proof sets from 1987 are still out there. Sitting in attics. Locked in forgotten boxes. Passed down from parents and grandparents. Given as gifts and never looked at again. It's not a fantasy. It's real. And it's hiding in plain sight. The San Francisco Mint struck those proof coins with care. They were sealed, protected, and preserved. But time doesn't always guarantee value. Condition does. That's why you can't just look, you have to inspect. If the coin is unblemished, untouched, with deep mirrored fields and sharp frosted features, and if you're lucky enough to get it graded a PR 70 by a respected company like PCGS or NGCE, that's when you enter the realm of serious money. And here's the kicker, most people have no idea they even own one. Proof sets get tossed aside. Estate sales let them go for next to nothing. Garage sales? Forget about it. People are giving away what could be a life-changing coin, just because they don't know what they're holding. But you do. You know now. And that gives you an edge. So what should you do? Go. Check. Search every drawer, every old box in your attic, every proof set you've ever inherited or forgotten about. Don't just glance, really look. Use a magnifying glass. Look for the 1987 S mint mark. Check for that shimmering, mirror-like surface. Examine the contrast. Handle it carefully. Don't clean it. Don't smudge it. Protect it. Then, if you believe you've got something special, get it graded. Because a regular dime might be worth 10 cents, but a perfect, untouched 1987 proof Roosevelt dime? That's the kind of coin that goes for $2,700, all the way up to a jaw-dropping $76,000. Yes, $76,000. The next time you hold a dime in your hand, ask yourself one question. Is this the one? Because the smallest coin in your collection might just bring you the biggest return of your life. Top 3. Have you ever walked past an old drawer, flipped through your dad's coin folder, or spotted a dusty little box marked U.S. proof set, without giving it a second thought? What if I told you that sitting in that little case, untouched for years, could be one of the rarest and most valuable dimes in American coin history? Not rare like worth a few bucks. No. I'm talking life-changing rare. The kind of rare that turns 10 cents into tens of thousands of dollars. Right now, across the country, coin collectors, auction houses, and even casual hobbyists are going absolutely wild over a single coin, the 1990 Roosevelt dime from a United States proof set. This isn't the kind of dime you'd find in your pocket change. It wasn't meant for vending machines, parking meters, or coffee counters. This is a proof coin, specifically struck for collectors, with mirror-like fields, deep frosted details, and precision so sharp it looks like artwork. But not all 1990 proof dimes are created equal. There's something about a select few of them that sends their value skyrocketing. And once you understand why, you'll be running to check your collection. First, let's talk about what makes a proof coin different. Unlike regular coins, proof coins are made with extreme care. The dies are polished. The planchets, the metal blanks, are hand-selected. Each coin is struck multiple times to bring out every tiny detail. The result? A stunning contrast between the mirror-like background and the frosted design, something collectors call deep cameo. When these proof coins are kept in pristine condition and graded perfectly, I mean flawlessly, they become treasure, and here's where it gets interesting. Some of these 1990 Roosevelt proof dimes have been graded by the most respected agencies, like PCGS and NGC, with the highest possible rating, PR70 Deep Cameo. That's perfection. A coin that has zero visible flaws, even under 5x magnification. It's the holy grail for collectors. Now you're probably wondering, why this coin? Why this year? What's so special about a 1990 Roosevelt dime? Here's the secret: supply and condition. Millions of proof sets were made, but only a handful of these dimes have survived in perfect, untouched, deep cameo condition. And fewer still have been officially graded a PR70. That combination of rarity, beauty, and certified perfection is what sends the value through the roof. Just recently, one of these exact coins, a 1990 Roosevelt dime, pulled from a proof set, graded a perfect PR70, sold for $2,700. That alone is a jaw-dropper for a 10-cent coin. But hold on, because that's not even the highest. Another example. Same coin, same year, same mint, sold at auction for a truly shocking price, $72,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1990 Roosevelt proof dime sold for $72,000. That's more than the average American household income. That's more than a luxury car. That's more than a down payment on a house, all in the form of one tiny, silver-colored coin most people would never think twice about. And here's the wild part. That coin is still out there. Not just one, but possibly dozens more. Sitting in unopened proof sets, tucked away in storage units, forgotten in sock drawers and safety deposit boxes. Someone, right now, is holding a coin worth thousands, maybe even 72,000, and has no idea what they've got. So let me ask you, do you have a 1990 proof set? Did your parents or grandparents ever give you one as a gift? Have you ever picked one up at a flea market, garage sale, or estate auction? Because if you have, you could be holding a modern American treasure in your hands, and not even know it. Here's what to look for. First, make sure it's a 1990 Roosevelt dime. The S means it was struck at the San Francisco Mint. It must come from a proof set, not from circulation. Then, look at the coin's condition. Is the background smooth like a mirror? Are the raised images, Roosevelt's portrait, the torch, frosted and sharply defined? That's a strong sign. If it's still sealed in the original U.S. Mint case and looks untouched, you're in luck. But the real confirmation comes from grading. If you think your coin might be one of the rare few, send it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. If it comes back PR70 deep cameo, your dime just became a dream, and that's the power of knowledge. Most people walk past treasure every day. Most people hold wealth in their hands and never realize it. But you're smarter. You're paying attention. And maybe, just maybe, you're about to find out that your 10-cent coin is worth $2,700. Or maybe even $72,000. Let that sink in. 10 cents turn into $72,000. So before you toss aside that proof set, before you overlook that old case in the attic, and before you give away that 1990 dime thinking it's worthless, take a second look. Because it might be the most valuable thing you've ever owned, and when you find it, when you see that shine, that perfect contrast, that rare flawlessness, you'll realize that you've just uncovered a treasure that most people will never even believe exists. Go look, now. Because time is ticking, and that little dime could be the biggest payday of your life. Top 4. You're about to hear something that most people won't believe. Because when someone hears the words, Roosevelt dime from the year 2000, they instantly picture a common, boring 10-cent coin. The kind you drop in a gas station tray or forget in the laundry. But what if I told you that same little dime, if it came from a specific proof set, could be worth not 10 cents, not even $10, but thousands, and not just a few thousand. We're talking serious, eye-popping, jaw-dropping money. Because right now, collectors are in a frenzy over a specific version of the year 2000 Roosevelt dime. It's not from your pocket change. It's not from a roll at the bank. It's not the kind you find under couch cushions. This one came straight out of a U.S. Mint proof set, a special edition made only for collectors. Now listen closely, because this is the kind of story that's making ordinary people very rich, and fast. The U.S. Mint creates proof coins with incredible care. Every detail is sharp, the fields are mirror-like, and the designs are frosted to perfection. These aren't mass-produced coins. They're struck multiple times with hand-polished dies to make every feature shine. They're sealed in protective cases and sold in proof sets, the kind your parents might have gifted you, or your grandparents might have tucked away in a drawer for someday. Well, guess what? Today might just be that day, because within some of those year 2000 proof sets lies a Roosevelt dime so rare, so flawless, and so perfect in condition, it's rewriting what a modern coin can be worth. And no, this isn't a myth. Just recently, one of these 2000s Roosevelt dimes, still sealed from the original San Francisco Mint proof set, sold at auction. It had been graded a perfect PR70 deep cameo by a top-tier grading company. That's the absolute highest grade possible. 0 imperfections. No flaws under magnification. It's the holy grail of coin collecting. The sale? It brought in $2,700. Now that's already shocking for a coin that says 10 cents on it. But hold on, because another example of that same coin, also in pristine PR70 deep cameo condition, sold for something absolutely insane. It didn't just break expectations, it shattered them. That single Roosevelt dime from a year 2000 proof set sold for $69,000. Yes. You heard that correctly. $69,000. For a dime. Let that sink in for a moment. Imagine finding one in your collection. Imagine flipping through your old proof set from the turn of the millennium and realizing you're holding something that could pay off your credit cards, cover a luxury vacation, or drop a down payment on a new house. And the best part? It's not some ancient, 19th century relic. It's a modern coin. From just a few decades ago. That's what makes it even crazier. These aren't locked away in museums or billion-dollar collections. They're sitting in regular people's homes. They're hiding in attics, safe deposit boxes, old gift boxes from childhood birthdays. And most people don't even know they're there. Here's how to check if you have one of these hidden treasures. First, it must be the 2000s Roosevelt dime. The S indicates it came from the San Francisco Mint's proof strike. Not from circulation. Not from a bankroll. Only from a proof set. Second, condition is everything. You need that deep, glassy mirror background and a razor-sharp frosted image of Roosevelt. That contrast is what collectors crave, and what gets that all-important, deep cameo designation. Third, if your coin is flawless, no scratches, no haze, no spots, nothing under magnification, then you just might have what it takes. Send it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. If it comes back PR70 deep cameo, congratulations, you may be holding one of the most valuable dimes of the modern era. And think about this. How many proof sets from the year 2000 are just collecting dust across America? How many people have already sold theirs at yard sales, estate auctions, pawn shops, not realizing they were giving away a potential gold mine? How many people are holding on to these coins right now, with no clue that their little dime could be worth more than most used cars? Don't let that be you. Check your collection. Check your family's collections. Dig through those forgotten boxes marked old coins or souvenirs. Because somewhere out there, someone is about to discover a 10-cent piece that's going to change their life. And if you're lucky, that someone could be you. The 2000s Roosevelt dime from a proof set. It's small. It's shiny. It's easy to overlook, but it could be worth $2,700. Or even, if lightning strikes, as much as $69,000. So go look. Right now. Because there's nothing more satisfying than finding out the smallest coin in your house might just be the most valuable thing you own. Top 5. Have you ever walked past a dime without thinking twice? What if I told you that a tiny little 10-cent coin sitting in your old drawer, or even forgotten in a proof set, could be worth thousands, yes, thousands, of dollars? You heard that right. We're not talking pennies here. We're talking about a Roosevelt dime from 2012. A modern coin, just over a decade old, that's quietly skyrocketing in value. Most people think coins have to be from the 1800s or full of silver to be worth big money. But the reality might just blow your mind. Let's dive in. The Roosevelt dime has been around since 1946, honoring the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Over the years, millions were minted. But not all dimes are created equal. Some, like the 2012 Roosevelt dime from the proof set, are in a league of their own. Now you might be asking, what makes the 2012 dime so special? It comes down to one word: perfection. The 2012 Roosevelt dime from the proof set was minted in San Francisco. That means it carries the S mint mark, a sign of high-quality strike and limited production. These dimes were never meant to enter circulation. They were struck multiple times to give that mirror-like finish, crisp, flawless, and stunning under light. This isn't your average pocket change. This is a collector's dream. But here's the twist: out of the thousands made, only a microscopic number of these 2012 dimes have achieved a perfect PR70 deep cameo grade, the absolute pinnacle of coin grading. That's perfection under 5x magnification. No scratches. No spots. Nothing but flawless detail. And when something is that rare in the world of coins, the price doesn't just go up, it explodes. Collectors and investors are fighting tooth and nail to get their hands on these perfect examples. And auction houses are cashing in big time. While most people are still thinking about gold and silver, the smart money is looking at high-grade proof coins like this. Let me hit you with the jaw-dropper. Some 2012 Roosevelt dimes from proof sets, graded PR70 DCM, have already sold for amounts that leave coin collectors speechless. We're talking $2,700, $5,500, even upwards of $39,000 for a single dime. Imagine pulling out a proof set, cracking it open, and discovering a dime that could pay your mortgage. It's real. It's happening. And most people have no idea. Think about it. a 10-cent coin worth more than your car. And not from 1901 or 1854, but from 2012. That's why this Roosevelt dime has become one of the most searched modern coins in America right now. But here's the catch: not every 2012 dime will make you rich. It has to be the real proof coin, San Francisco Mint, mirror finish, no circulation wear. And above all, it needs that elite grade, PR70 deep cameo. If you have a 2012 proof set, now is the time to act. Pull it out. Get that dime inspected. Send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Because sitting in that plastic case could be your ticket to thousands of dollars. And if you're thinking of skipping it, just remember, someone else already turned a dime into $39,000. Don't let that be their story instead of yours. This is not just another coin video. This is your wake-up call. Search your collection. Check your proof sets. Because the next coin to hit it big could be sitting just inches away from you. And if you're wondering, yes, there are still collectors out there hunting for the perfect 2012 Roosevelt dime. The demand hasn't dropped. In fact, it's growing. And the value? Only going one way, up. So before you scroll away or forget this video, look again at that humble dime. Because under the right light, with the right grade, it might just shine like a diamond in your pocket. Yes, you heard me right. A 10-cent coin, worth up to $39,000. What are you waiting for? Hit that like button if you're checking your coins tonight. Subscribe for more real coin stories that make collectors richer every day. And remember, the next life-changing coin might just be in your hands right now.